Hello and welcome to the first lecture on projectiles. I'm going to begin class right now by thinking about what would happen if you were to just drop an object and at the same time throw an object horizontally. Which one would hit the ground first? Projectiles are going to be combining what we've learned so far in kinematics using the kinematics equations along with what we've learned about vectors. But for this first question, I'm not talking about any angles other than I'm going to launch an object horizontally, and at the same time I'm going to drop an object. And my question to you is which one is going to hit first? Or will they hit at the same time? Ponder that one. You could also imagine, by the way, that you're on the back of a train, and the train is moving at 60 miles an hour, and you're dropping an object off the train and firing an object from a gun off the end of the train. Which one's going to hit first? The one that's fired with a gun horizontally, not at any angle, but other than horizontal right now. So horizontally fired gun or an object that's dropped. The train can be moving or stationary, either way. Think about that, and I'm going to show you a demonstration in the next portion of this video that will help to resolve that question for you. This is the projectile launching device that I mentioned. It is designed on this side to release this little piece of clay when this switch, when I unlatch this latch right there. This spring will push the whole thing forward, and then when pushing it forward, this little piece of rod here will be removed and the clay won't have anything to support it, and it should fall directly below to the floor. At the same time, this ball, this bright orange ball, should be projected horizontally. So what I'm going to show you is, I'll back it up here, it's all one part of one unit that's suspended about 1 meter off the ground. And the question is, which is going to hit first? The piece of clay right here, or the ball that's projected that way? Piece of clay, remember, is just dropped. Which one's going to hit first? If this were in class, it would be a clicker question, and the question I'd ask you would be, would the clay hit first? Would the super ball hit first, the one that's projected, or would they both hit at the same time? And this is what we're going to see in just a minute. Here goes, watch the two balls. I hope you saw from that video that both balls landed at the same time. I realize that might have been a little hard to see, but if you slow it down and repeat the video just in that one segment of time, you should be able to see that. That if a dropped ball and a horizontally launched ball are released at the same time, they'll both hit at the same time. This is critical for us to see in order for us to proceed with calculations and demonstrations of projectiles, which involve balls being launched from all sorts of angles. I'm going to start with coming up with equations for how far the ball is going to land when it's launched horizontally. And of course, we know how long it's going to take to land horizontally because we know how long it's going to take to fall rather than being launched horizontally. And if it's the same time, whether it's launched horizontally or falls from that same height, then we can figure out, if we know how fast it's moving initially, we can figure out how far it's going to go. And this will be the first step to doing more complicated projectile problems where we'll adjust the angle. And if we know the initial speed of the ball and the height from which it's launched, we can figure out exactly where it's going to land. And that will be what we'll be doing in this lecture on projectiles.